What's up, YouTube? Today we are doing my valves on the KLR. We are just taking them out, putting new valve seals in, doing a little lap to clean them up. Nothing big, just to make sure the surfaces are clean and everything seals great. So here is my valve cap cover with my shim in the top. Take that out with your handy dandy magnet, and then we take our tusk tool and we do this. Let me set you guys here. There we go. Point you down just a tad. There we go. Okay, guys and gals, you then flip up your head. Get your tool here. Compress the valve, or the valve spring. Take your other handy dandy magnet. Industrial Magnetics. This is a place I work. We make the best magnets in the universe. And this is what you want to take out. These are what hold your valves in, or the valve springs and everything together. Just two little clips. You take them out with a magnet. Then all you do is back off your Tusk Racing valve removal tool. Top cap. Both springs. And then bam! Valve! Set that bad dad over there. Grab you a pair of needle nose pliers. And when I take these off, I kind of go around it like a regular seal to loosen it up, and then pop it off, because it's got a little lip on the inside, so they're not the easiest to come off. You got to get rid of hold of them. And you probably can't see that, but there's a little lip right in the inside, and there is a notch around that it slips over and seals. So that's why they're kind of a bear to get off. Then you grab your new ones. I put them in oil, or get some oil on them. And then I just lower it down in there with my needle nose pliers. And then once it's on there, I can put my thumb over it and rock it back and forth to get on. Oop, I screwed up. Dropped it. It is kind of hard, especially if you've got fat fingers that have had lots of injuries like me. So, ooh, my hands are oiled now. So just lower it down in there. Rock it back and forth. There we go. And slide it right down on there. And you really want to make sure it gets down into that clip. Make sure it's on all the way. I'll grab it and show you guys in a minute. Yeah. Whoop. Looks good, except I knocked my little spring off. Gosh darn it. What did I do? Yeah, it's about the most. There. Good to go. You can see down in there, valve seal is on. Now we are gonna lap it. Just real nice and easy to clean everything up. So what I do is take my valve, lapping compound, put a little bit around the edges. You want to make sure you don't get this crap all over down in there, just on the edge. Stick my valve in there, slam it down home, take your and this is all you do. And I'm not pushing real hard because I'm just trying to clean it up. Make everything fit real good. That's it. And take your cloth, clean all that nasty compound off there. And you can see how it cleaned up the edge of that valve where it seals. Real nice. Didn't take any metal off, just cleaned up what was there. So the surfaces are back to like new. Then we take this cloth, get all that stuff out of there. And it looks like brand new again. And that's exactly what I wanted. So and I'll show you guys, see how good that looks now. Surfaces are like new again. I put some oil on the, so when it goes through the seal, it seals up real nice. That back in there. Perfect. Beautiful. This is actually this bike is coming together good. I found some problems and I think it's going to run well when I get it back together. Put my springs back in, my cap, grab my tool, cap right out. Line this up nice. I used to be scared of valves. Touching them, you know, I used to take them to shops because I thought, oh, it was so hard, so complicated. Yeah. No, it's not. It's easy. 4 strokes are no more difficult than a 2-stroke. It just takes a little longer when you're working on them because you've got a couple extra steps. It's just not. None of this stuff is hard. Engines aren't. Finishing up with the keepers. on this. Got one in. Whoop. Ooh. Two in. There we go. And back it out. Keepers are in. Then we take my valve cap. Clean the inside of that out real good. And I take some oil again. Oil her up. Then just slide it back down on there. And that is your valves. Do that each and every one and you've got new valve seals. Yeah, it's pretty easy and your bike will thank you for it. Okay everybody, the piston is in, the wrist pin is in. I need to put my circlip right here. The last one I just pushed it through. Sorry I did not record it. I had to have my dad over here to help me and he didn't have much time to, you know, I wanted somebody to hold it, or actually I held it while I put the wrist pin through. I did it this way just because I can. Most dirt bikes, it's not tall enough to put the head on or the cylinder on while you're putting or before you put it on. But this one I was able to. I had plenty enough room to put the piston rings in there and then put it on like this. But yeah, now I need to put my claws back down in here because I'm going to put this wrist pin in. And let me tell you, it would be bad deal right now if you didn't put claws or didn't put towels or something in here and you drop that wrist pin into, or I shouldn't say wrist pin, the circlip, wrist pin circlip into the bottom end. And it's easy to do because you can be getting those things like halfway in and they spring out. They're kind of a bear. Okay guys and gals, we now have our cylinder on and now we are going to tighten to torque specs. Remember this one that was down in there, that little bolt, you can see the top of it, that is 89 foot-pounds. 89 foot-pounds, 10 Newton measures, or however you say it. These ones right here are your cylinder covered nuts. And or cylinder mounting nuts, and they are 25 Newton meters. So we're just going to set the old handy dandy snap-on torque wrench to Newton meters and do it that way. But it is always super important to torque everything properly when you're doing an engine. I learned that the hard way and blew a head gasket in a YZ250F because I didn't have things torqued to the proper specs. But yeah, that's what we're going to do now. Torque those, and then as soon as we get them torqued, we'll turn the engine over a few times, make sure the piston's moving up and down properly. And yeah, should be good. Alright, I got my head on. Now it's time to put my bolts, top end, or head bolts in. And these are a little bit different as you tighten them in a crisscross pattern. Starting out at 20 Newton meters, and going to 65 Newton meters, and then going around till they're all consistently at 65. Yeah, in a crisscross pattern. So we'll get that done right now.
Okay, we got the head on. Now it's time for the valves. And with your valves, your exhaust valve will have the compression release on the end of it, and this goes on the front, and you put this so the lines are even. There's an arrow, and that'll go towards the front, and there was another line on the other side, and you make those nice and level with the top of the head. And your exhaust valve, which goes, I'm sorry, this is your intake. This is my intake valve with nothing on it. My exhaust valve is the one with the compression release. Your intake goes in the back where the air box is. Your exhaust goes in the front where your exhaust is. So we're going to get these in there, and my bike is at top dead center right now. So I'm going to go ahead and put all this together, and then I'm going to check my valve fittings. So. Alright, everything's done on the top end. I got my shims, everything's actually was right in spec, so I didn't have to shim anything. All my valves are in, everything's in time, etc, etc. But I hit a snag because the last time I timed it, I used my chain tensioner gasket, so I need a chain tensioner gasket, so I'm going to have to get one coming this week to finish this up, which sucks. All I need to do is put my chain tensioner back on, then I'll roll over a few times, make sure it's all good, throw the valve cover back on. I got my carburetor. Oh, I need to get a choke cable too. This one is broken, and I think I'm going to go with the choke cable coming right out of the side of the carb, because this is the second one I broke, these plastic piece right here. That's crap. So yeah, I'm gonna get a choke cable that comes right out of the side of the car where you just reach down like a regular dirt bike. And then we will go to the rear suspension once we get the engine done and the carb put together. Then we'll take out the rear shock. I got the spring for it, rebuild that. Front suspension, rebuild that, and then as soon as I get my radiator, we'll start it up, and hopefully it'll be about time to ride it. So we're getting close to being done. Thanks for watching.